Well, welcome everyone. As he was saying, I was just going to explain to you how our team built a product catalog for scalability using DBT, but also, of course, Airflow, Google Cloud Services, and OpenAI. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so first of all, I will explain you a little bit about, I'm going to give you a little bit of context about HelloPrint, that is the company that I work for. HelloPrint is a global marketplace for customized printed products, and now it's currently working in 31 countries. From printed, you might think, okay, we have a big factory, we have multiple factories in all these countries with print machinery, or even we have our own delivery services ourselves. But no, we don't. Actually, we have a large network of printers all around Europe specifically, and then that it's about around more than 300 suppliers and more than 30 delivery options. So yeah, that's our business model, basically. So the fact that we don't have our own machinery and our own printing and our own delivery options allow us to offer better or more products to our customers, but also better prices and better delivery times. Okay, yeah, here is basically a screen recording of how our website looks for UK. Printers, probably you think about flyers most likely, or booklets even, or business cards for an event, right? To give away, but we also have flags like the ones I have here. We also print for now, well, also specifically the last years we've been focusing a little bit of gifts categories and also clothing categories, like hoodies and so on. Yeah, so already you can see that our product offering is quite wide. But it's not only that, we sell customized products, which makes it even more difficult, another level. So for example, in this PDP, you can see, okay, that this hoodie you can choose from different colors. Also, you can choose different sizes as well. You can choose different print positions where you want to print, but also print technique. Maybe you want embroidery, or maybe you want a silk screen. Okay, so what's the challenge that we were facing, and what's the complexity of it? Well, the company's mission is actually to become the largest and most sustainable platform for customized printed products in the planet. So that's not easy for sure. And that translates to our channels, to the challenge in our data team to build and maintain a scalable and efficient catalog, so we can support or make it possible, make this growth possible. So what's the complexity? Well, one product, as I was explaining, translates to thousands of combinations. Because yeah, one product, for example, if you just think about a t-shirt, if you go to any clothing company, you can buy it in 5 different colors. You can choose from 6 different sizes, probably, but you don't have that other layer of complexity that is the printing, so the customization. You cannot decide, okay, how big you want your print to be, or whether you want print or not. Apart from that, we have more than 3,000 products right now live on the website. So, of course, that turns out to be around 10 million unique SKUs. But also we have more than 300 producers that can produce these SKUs. So it's quite difficult. The amount of products is quite big. Also, those products vary a lot. We offer t-shirts, we offer pens, we offer bags, we offer flyers. So of course the attributes of each of these products are completely different from each other. And now I'm going to explain a little bit about the solution that we proposed. Well, to give you also a little bit of context, previously we were storing most of our product data in CSVs. We are slightly moving now with this new setup. So we used what you most likely know as a modern stack. So we use Apache Airflow to basically orchestrate and manage all our tasks, then DBT to make all the transformations, and then store all the data in BigQuery and Google Cloud Storage. And we also use spreadsheets. But wait a minute, I will show it's quite cool, and I think you will change your mind for sure. So basically, we start with our supplier data. Any of our producers supplies us like with a list or with whatever data type, with their prices, their catalog, and so on. And we use Python to connect to different, either to a server, an API, and store this data in Google Cloud Storage. Afterwards, we just declare this as a source in the raw format. We don't want to make any transformations, just a flat table for now. And then we make some other transformations until we reach the standardized catalog. So until we make sure the supplier data just turned out to be exactly the structure that we can actually compare it with other suppliers too. From the standardized catalog, we use DBT again to create some models that will be able, that will help us to show data to our commercial teams. Because at the end, well, we work in a printing company, but we don't know that much about printing. We don't know what print techniques go better with what products, or what products are actually our customers looking to buy. So then we need to work in this whole process. We need to work with category management or other commercial teams. So that's why we use Google spreadsheets to create like a like kind of a UI. So they can easily select products and they can easily choose different print techniques and so on. Again, we use DBT to create a final product file that will then enrich our website, so then we can actually put all that data live in the website, and also create a content file, because, well, right in the past, we were only responsible for creating the product file, but since we wanted to started onboarding a batch, so a huge amount of products, we also started collaborating in the content part, so more like the images and the descriptions of the products. Well, the first step is definitely the supplier communication. First of all, there are two things that you could ask yourself, ask them, basically. It's what's the data format that they're going to provide you the data, and what method are they going to provide you? So how can I actually retrieve this data? Data formats will vary a lot, actually. You may not know, but well, in the printing industry, there's not so many not many data specialists, specifically for the smaller printers that actually are the ones that offer the best deals. So the data formats can vary from XML, JSON, to even PDFs, or even images, which are our least favorite. Then the extracting methods, well, there are some suppliers that have FTP servers we can connect to, or even API endpoints where we can retrieve the data, and others prefer more like the old-fashioned email attachment, unfortunately as well. But yeah, what I'm trying to explain here is that, okay, it's very important that we just adapt in this stage. So adaptability is key here. So that's why we use a very quite, I would say, nice tool for that is Python. So what we do is just connect to any of these extracting methods using Python and store them in Google Cloud Storage. All this is, of course, orchestrated by Airflow. And then it comes the DBT transformations, 3 stages. So looking back, as I was explaining before, most of our data was stored in CSVs, but I think that was not the main problem. The main problem was that our data, the way that we were storing our data, was very based on commercial decisions. So if we wanted to offer a product only with 2 colors, then we would only have 2 colors storing the data, even though maybe in the future we would like even more. So that's one of the things that we kept in mind when we created all these different stages, and also when we created and designed the final catalog model. But yeah, all these 3 steps basically happen in DBT, so they're just different transformations in DBT. The first one is just declare the sources. We just make sure that these sources that I just explained to you, they just are flattened, and then we can store them in BigQuery. And we take a little bit care of the nulls and missing values. But yeah, the idea here is to keep the data as possible, as close as possible to the supplier data, because it helps us a lot to report to them. So if something's missing, if for example, a product is missing from the catalog, I can easily go to the source and I can easily tell, hey, sorry, but this product is missing. If something is missing in the catalog, I can go all the way down and I can say, okay, this is missing from the catalog. So you can actually really automate processes, and especially with DBT, we can really create tests that actually help us reporting to the supplier. The second part, so how do we go from the source to the catalog model? The second part is the supplier-specific transformations. Basically here, it's when it gets more tested, how much do you know about printing? So here you gotta know a little bit about printing, because you gotta find the sense in the supplier data on one hand, and also you gotta make sure that, yeah, basically you're translating the supplier's attributes to our supplier's attributes, right? So you gotta make sure you can make a link from their data to our data. Again, here, what we're making sure is that we just take care of the granularity and the data types so that they match the catalog model, and we can actually transform the source data into the catalog model. And the catalog model, it's a little bit complicated, and I would say that it's not final. So the catalog model is going to change a lot, basically because this project has been integrated for so far commercial print data, not all of them, but and corporate gifts and clothing. But as I said, all the other categories can also have different attributes. So as soon as we start onboarding different products or new products to this project, we will need to make some changes in this catalog. But basically, we found the catalog model is made out of 3 main objects that are the product, the variant, and the print option. Now I'm going to explain, a little bit more, like the part I think a little bit more interesting. So even though we have all these data, so we have all these data from the product, from the supplier, we also want to make the product available on the website in such a sense that our customers want to buy it, right? So what we did is, we saw the supplier data and we thought, there's a lot of useful information here. Actually, we kept 4 things. The product name that the supplier, the name that the supplier was given to the product, the description, the material, and the brand. So as you can see, for example, the description is quite it's not that enchanting, let's say it that way. It's called compact cooler bag, suitable for up to 6 cans. So what we did, we created an open AI assistant that what would do is to generate content in HelloPrint style for using these 4 inputs for that specific product. The output would be, no bobbin, PP plastic cooler bag, and the description would be a little bit more, I would say, stylish. Keep your drinks chilled in style. This compact BC cooler can hold up to 6 cans, perfect for picnics or a day out. Well, that's not it. I told you that HelloPrint was working in 31 countries, so we definitely need these descriptions and titles also in other languages. So what we did is we created different assistants, and these were created, or let's say that the different localization people from the company were able to give specific rules to these OpenAI assistants, so then we could create one to translate this generated content in English to Dutch, to Spanish, to French, and so on. And here you can find the Spanish one. And now it comes to the images. Yeah, we also saw a lot of potential in the supplier images, but of course, the images need to match the style that we have on our website. So what we did is, we're going to do a little bit, some small transformations. Actually, as they were explaining before, we use Photo Room that I think to delete the backgrounds and also to crop the images. So for example, this is a case of a product that our supplier offers separately. So it's a hoodie, but they offer it in 2 PDPs separately. So for them, it's 2 different products. But we want to offer it as a single product on the website. So then what we do is, we use this image edition tool that has actually an API, so we receive back the images edited, and then we ask to OpenAI, hey, is there a man and a woman in the picture? Yeah, no. Then I know that if I want to sell this product, I need to put these models together, right? So the customer knows, that I can order it for women and men. So what we did is just a Python script that just would put the 2 images together. I know it doesn't look hyper realistic, but to be honest, it's going quite cool. This is not the only one. We also do this the same for corporate gifts. So we delete the background. We make sure that the images are resized to 1,000 times 1,000. And honestly, this has reduced a lot the amount of work that the editors would have to put in putting a product live. And also it reduces a lot the time that it takes from us for a product onboarding, because we no longer have to wait for editors to edit the picture. So we can put it live. We can see what's the traffic on that page. So we can see if there's actually some traffic or not, and then we can decide whether we want to improve these images or not. And yeah, the same with the icons. So the different icons, so you can see them in the website and choose different colors. And now the Google Sheets, because I told you that we had all this process, and then at the end from the catalog we would build the Google Sheets, and then again with the catalog data we could create the product files, right? The Google Sheets are quite nice. As Kirill was saying the other day, Just try to make it simple, try to use existing tools. So I think that's what we thought when we thought about using Google Sheets UI, and especially because it has app scripts. So with app scripts, we can easily connect to Airflow. So we can easily send a trigger to Airflow, or the other way around. We can, if something has finished in Airflow, it can directly connect to Google Sheets and say, hey, refresh this source table. Google Sheets can also connect to source table, so you can actually connect to a BigQuery table, so that's also nice. And yeah, let me show you an example on how this UI looks. So basically, this is, imagine a JSON originally. It becomes this to us. So there are some tables, BigQuery tables that are connected here. And then we have the product tab, where they can see what products are available. They can see for each of these products what print techniques are available, so they can easily choose one or other. Also, we have this process quite, let's say, like secure. Each of the tabs, as you can see, are quite secure because we don't want them to break a lot of things. But it's actually nice because this is not really connected. So whenever they click anything, that will never affect our database. But they can still contribute to the whole process. Whenever they choose that bottom, it will just trigger a pipeline. Of course, AppScript will trigger a pipeline in Airflow, which in this case, for example, has two different tasks. The first one is all the DBT transformations, and the second one is putting that final table in BigQuery. And the same we have for content. So they can choose, okay, for this specific product, do I want to generate content or not? They can select, okay, for this, and this, I want to onboard, so I want to generate content. After generating content, they can again go to the text tab, and here you can see, okay, what is the OpenAI description and title? You can see here already a challenge. We found a little bit of a challenge. We saw, okay, that the output was not exactly what we needed to put the product live. So we added a couple of columns with the reviewed title. So then actually our commercial team could also have a look to it and rephrase some things if they need it. And that's also useful because if in the future we want to train something, we also have an example. And then finally, they can also load that. Metrics, nice. So I think this is the final one. So since we put this new project live, we decrease by 80% the time that it takes a commercial person to, or a commercial team to onboard a product from scratch into the website. Actually, in 6 months, we were able to onboard 2,200 products. That it's 11 times more than we were able to do the last year in the same 6 months. And then we double the revenue, specifically in this example for corporate gifts, in 6 months. And actually, we are planning to triple it in one of the next months. And yeah, I just want to show you finally if it works. Yeah, our baby. So you can see here the different images. We also create the size charts that you can see there, so the customers can also see them. The different color icons that have been used and created. The descriptions generated by OpenAI, and product specifications and designs that we also upload to content. And that's all. And of course, all the printing methods. And I think that's it. Thank you.
That was super insightful. Thank you. Just to clear up to the audience, a hoodie at HelloPrint does not cost 440 euros.
Was it there?
No, it's a batch of hoodies. So multiple hoodies. Okay, so any questions from the audience? While you're thinking, I will ask one. So first I want to ask, did you notice any differences in using DBT for the product catalog compared to what we usually use DBT for, which is writing analytics pipelines?
Yeah. So I'm not really friends. I have never done a DBT for analytics pipelines. But if I can compare it, for example, to the previous software that we were using, our tool. I think we were using Alteryx, and sometimes we were using Python. Well, basically, we were using a lot of different tools. So a lot of people, I think there was not a clear responsibility within the company on who would take what, so who would work on what. So then everyone would take action, right? Oh, I can onboard this supplier, I can onboard this supplier, then I do it via Alteryx, then I do it via Python. I don't know if you actually know Alteryx. It's basically like a drag and pull tool. where you can just make like extractions, transformations, which you can even load to databases, which is quite nice and expensive. And then, from there, okay, we decided, okay, that's not really scalable. Basically, there's not a lot of knowledge on that. And I think for DBT, I think there's quite some knowledge online. So I think it's quite nice, the community that it's out there. Also, the lineage. For me, it was great because at the beginning, I had an SKU that ended up on the website, but I didn't really know, okay, how many suppliers can I have that have the same SKU? Or what if I make a change in this file, how many other files do I have to update? Because they all have to need to have the same structure, but that in DBT is completely different. Like if in DBT I want to change a specific model, I already know what are all the other models that are affected or that will be affected, and I can easily also update that. Yeah, and I think that would be it.
Okay.
Maybe he can give some insights.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe to add, I think the one big difference between this and using for analytical use cases is that this makes pretty heavy use of macros, I think, right?
Yeah,
compared to more analytic use cases because of the product attributes. So it's more of a JSON structure that you're working with. So you have to use much more heavy use of macros to make that standardized catalog model. That's a big difference.
I was going to look for you. I didn't know that you were sitting right behind me. We have somebody else there.
I was just curious. There are also some models like Sora to generate video content, and it might be Sora. Sora, the model which text to video. So I was just curious, like, have you thought about also adding, in addition to onboarding, like these items, adding some maybe videos? So if in case you thought about this, what is the estimation of the complexity of the job which need to be done on top of what you did?
So just to clear it up for the audience as well, Sora is this OpenAI text to video. They showed some magic that basically you can write a script and then you don't need directors. You just get movies. So this is what the question.
Well, we never thought about this, to be honest, but thank you. So I will just discuss with my team, of course. I think like we never thought about it basically because we try to follow just the structure. So let's say like the design that we have on the website. We currently don't offer product videos or and so on. But I think that could be interesting actually. Also, especially when you're ordering printing online, right? I think any platform on the website, I think it's very nice to make it clear to the customer what product they're gonna receive. I think that's one of the main concerns when you're ordering online. So that would be good. However, I don't know how much it will hallucinate because, yeah, as you can see, my supplier's data, maybe, I don't know, instead of having like someone just showing around the hoodie, it just changes completely the context. But yeah, I think that's a very good idea, so I will discuss it when I go back.
So the physics is not solved in the video model.
Okay.
Once they get there, maybe it will be useful. Do we have any other questions?
So, quick question. So, I mean, I think most of us probably have had times we've had to use like Google Sheets for like configurations or UIs and stuff. Have you had any particular pain points with it, or have you mostly managed to get around them with like validation and just making sure people can't edit certain things so that you can continue sort of doing it?
Yeah. Well, actually, this screen recording that I showed you, it was the last version of the screenshot of the spreadsheets, because before what we were doing is just connecting to a BigQuery table, and then what we were doing is making a lookup to the extraction of that BigQuery table that in Google Sheets, and then they could easily make changes. So they could easily not make changes to those specific rows, but they could add things. However, we were losing much of that information, or they would actually be triggering things without even having things selected, which would cause error failing, like for example pipelines failing and so on, which at the end becomes a lot like ad hoc requests. So then you lose a lot of time. You're just very focused doing your job, and then something breaks. You look at it, and it's just that they forgot to put a select, or they use a stack or a name that was duplicated and it shouldn't. So then we changed this aspect. So now we're doing it differently. Also, I didn't show it here, but all the the commercial team has access to this spreadsheet, and whenever they trigger the pipeline, I don't know if you saw, there was like a white page. So basically, a white page opens and tells, okay, the request is going on. You get a Slack message on Slack telling you, hey, we're actually trying to process this file for this specific product, and on the meantime, the rights of all the category or commercial team members have changed to a viewer in the script. So we make sure they don't trigger the pipeline 20 times. So we make sure that they don't change anything while the script is running because it's already looking to those tables and so on. But yeah, I think it's tricky, but I think we quite found some balance, and I think it's quite powerful, to be honest. We don't have to build our own software or like our own inside a company tool to actually make them or allow them to trigger and be a little bit more free. Thank you.
Okay, let's thank Sarah one more time.
Thank you.